Hello everyone, today we're going to do a Flappy Bird project, so let's get started. We start by first creating a project. And removing sprite 1. You can add the parrot sprite from choosing a sprite, or you can download from searching Flappy Bird. I'm gonna upload a Flappy Bird sprite. I added the bird and I'll change the name to Flappy Bird. Once we've added the sprite, since mine is too big, I'll change the size to, for example, 30 or 20. I think 20 is good. We'll add a backdrop of some greenery. So maybe the blue sky. So we're gonna add that. And now we're gonna start painting or creating a new sprite as the pipes. So we'll start first by doing a rectangle and changing the color to green. And we can also do it that has a gradient, like this one. But instead of orange, we can do like a darker green, or maybe a lighter green. So like this. But we don't need it that big. So we resize it. But we have to make it really tall. So for example, like this. And then we do another square or a rectangle, like this. Oops. After we've done that, you can add an outline if you want. We're gonna take that and copy that, Ctrl C and then Ctrl V. And we're gonna rotate it like this. And we fix it. And then we add it on top. Oops. We add it here for these two. We lower it a bit down so there's a nice distance. And same with this. So this is nice, and we put it for now at 0, 0. Oops. Like that. And then we're gonna start doing the code. We also have to change from sprite 1 to pipes. Now we start the code. So we want, when we press the up arrow key, we go up. And when we press the down arrow key, we go down. And we want these pipes, we're not gonna do like 10 sprites of them. We're gonna do them as clones. So let's start with the Flappy Bird. So instead of making the Flappy Bird at the center of the page, we can instead let it at the side of the page. So maybe we keep it at the Y0. So this is the Y and this is the X. So we have to know that so we can coordinate that. So instead of that far, or we can just round it up to 160. So that's fine. And since we're gonna start with that, we're gonna do, when green flag is clicked, the motion, we're gonna go to negative 160, and the Y is gonna stay at 0. So the Y, we're gonna use it for going up and down. But for the side, we just need it as X negative 160. We don't have to move it that much. So when green flag is clicked, it goes to x negative 160, and y 0. So now that we've done that, we need to start by the up arrow key and the down arrow key. So let's put them both. So when the up arrow key is pressed, we're gonna grab a repeat button, and let's just keep it for now as repeat 3 times, and we want it to move up, so we can do change y by 6 or 5. Let's keep it 5. So we can try that now. So it's going up, not so badly. So we want that to go back to 0. So it stays in the middle of the page. And then, so this is good. And then now we want to do for the down arrow key. So when the down arrow key is pressed, we do the same exact thing, but instead of change y by 5, we do, before I forget, we have to add the repeat. So repeat 3 times, and then motion, we do change y by, instead of 10 or 5, we do negative 5, so it goes down. Let's try that. So as we can see, it goes down. So that's nice. Now that we've done that, we will start doing another when green flag is clicked. And we're gonna make this green flag clicked. It's gonna look when it's gonna start touching the pipes. So the losing points are when the Flappy Bird touches the pipes or touches either the sides of the screen. So when we're supposed to do control, and it's waiting until it reaches sensing. So touching the edge or is touching the pipes. So since we have those, we can do wait until touching edge or touching pipes. We want to add a sound effect, so we're gonna look for sounds, and here we search for choose a sound, and we can add a screech. So that sounds okay. So we add that, and we can make it softer. And then we can add wait until touching edge or touching pipes, start sound screech. Then we can let the Flappy Bird say for 2 seconds, oops, game over. Now that we've done that, we can also send a message from the events to broadcast message 1, but instead of message 1, we change it to make a new message of game over. We do stop all. Now that we're done with Flappy Bird, we can now start with pipes. So we start by creating a variable called score, so we can keep the score of the Flappy Bird. And we start by, obviously, when green flag is clicked, we can set the variable score to 0, so we don't start with, for example, 5. And then we hide it. Yeah, I know that sounds weird, but we hide it because we're gonna start a clone. So if we keep the same one and we start the clone, there's gonna be two more pipes, so one as a clone and the second one as the normal one. So it's gonna be weird and it won't work properly. So we hide the original one and start a clone. And how do we do that clone? We first do a forever loop, and we do create clone of myself here, and then we wait 2 seconds. We go grab when I start as a clone, we want it to show. We grab a motion and we make it to go to X. We want it at the edge of the screen, so 240. And the Y, we don't want it always at 0. We want it to be a random number. So pick a random from -80 and 80. So it doesn't go too far up or too far down. And we just don't want it there the whole time. We just want it to glide till the other side. So we grab a glide. We change from 1 second. We want it to go slow, so maybe 4, and to -240. Oops, 240. And then the Y, we keep it as the same position. So we look for this one, Y position, and we add it here. So this Y position stays in the same Y position as this one picked. So we see that. We go to 240. So as we can see, it's changing. And then the Y position is 63 as it is right here. So now that we know how that works, we add a delete to this clone, since we're not always gonna use the same clone. So delete this clone. We're gonna need when I start as a clone again, and we're gonna do a wait until, just like the Flappy Bird, but instead of when touching the edge or touching the pipes, we're gonna do when the X position of the Flappy Bird is greater than the X position of the pipes. So what does that mean? So in conclusion, that just means since this is 240, it's not gonna do anything. So if it's here at -240, and since the Flappy Bird is -160, so -160 is greater than -240. So we're gonna wait until that happens, so we can add a score, and we can add a score for the Flappy Bird. So let's do that. So we go to sensing, we grab the backdrop hashtag of stage. We change the stage to Flappy Bird, and we're gonna get different options from the stage. So we have the X position. So we now go to operators and get larger than. We go and grab it here, and instead of 50, we're gonna do the X position of the pipes. So where do we get that? We get that from motions and X position. And we place it in wait until. And we go to variables and change score by 1. And we can add a sound, so start sound, pop. So whenever we get a point, it does a sound, to inform us that we got a point. And just in case, we can do, when I receive game over, we stop all. And we just don't want it to stop and the players get confused. We can add a new sprite with the text, the color red, and the font of pixel, and we write game over. We make that bigger, not so big. And we place it in the middle of the screen, just like that. And I just want it a bit smaller, just like that. This is fine. And we change the sprite name to game over. And this code is gonna be pretty easy. So when green flag is clicked, we hide. So when green flag is clicked, we hide. And when I receive game over, we just show. And it's that easy. So let's try the project. We go up and down. The up arrow and down arrow keys are working. And we're getting nice points, so the score is working also. And the glide is also working. It's not going too fast or too slow. Let's try and crash or touch the edge. So it gives us the game over and sends the message and game over. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope I see you in the next one. Please share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.